All right, guys, so we're back again with another video. I'm here with, once again, my lovely wife, Jessie.
Hello.
Hopefully, you guys saw the context, the original video where we were talking about the Galaxy Z Fold 4. Today, we're sort of tweaking that concept. We're talking about the Z Fold 6. So, just to give a very brief rundown, she used the Z Fold 4 for a couple of weeks, and like the big thing to keep in mind here is that Jessie is not a big tech head. She's married to me, but she's not like me. She just uses like a normal phone. She's normally like a Pixel user, but I wanted to see if you gave a normal person a Z Fold, how would they react to that? Now, a lot of commenters left comments saying you should have let her have the Z Fold 6. It's the most recent one. It's newer, it's better, it's bigger, it's better. I said, yeah,
Better.
yeah, better in like a good way. It's
Like
big and bad.
bad.
I pushed back on that and said, if you're a tech head, yeah, you probably do see the difference between the 4 and the 6. But if you're like a normal person, it's not that big of a difference. And really, what I wanted to explore in that video was just you using a foldable in general, a book style foldable in general. The small differences weren't going to change that a whole lot. But I said, I think there is an interesting idea there as well, because there's been a lot of criticism around Samsung's Z Fold devices that they're not doing enough. They're not evolving these phones quickly enough.
Yeah.
So you've had the Fold 4 for a couple of weeks. Now you've had the Fold 6 for about 10 days or so. So we're going to kind of see, how do you feel? Do you feel like there is a big difference between those two? So that's kind of where I want to start. When I put the Fold 6 in your hands, what were some of the first things that you noticed about it?
So the first thing I noticed was that it seemed a lot more premium. Um, we had it in, oh my gosh, what is the name of that case? We
It
had it in a
was,
different case.
yeah, it was a case from a company called Pitaka.
Yeah, so like first of all, I have to have a case on my phone. I cannot have a phone without a case. I'm too rough on them. I'm too clumsy. I drop them way too much. So that was like how do you call it? Aramid fiber
Yep,
case.
very
And
thin, very premium. And
yeah,
we had a grip on the back
we
of it
did.
as
Yeah,
well.
because I wouldn't have been able to use it without a grip or anything on it. Currently, I'm using is this one
Official,
straight from the store?
yep,
Like,
Samsung S Pen case.
and it has like the one around the front and then the one on the back. Yeah. So at first I was like, this is too thin, it's too premium, it feels like it's gonna slip out of my hands, I'm gonna break it.
So
Um
can I just pause on that for a second? So there's a couple of things that
yeah,
we have to address there.
yeah,
So you felt like it was too thin. Now,
too thin.
do you think that the context of that is going from the Fold 4, which was in the case with the kickstand? So the Fold 4 doesn't fold flat, so it's kind of wedge shaped, and it was
Yeah,
in sort of a thicker case. You probably got used to holding that rather large
yeah,
chunk of a phone. So then I hand
yeah,
you the Fold 6 with an aramid fiber case, and even though
yeah.
it's still thicker than a normal phone, compared to the Fold 4, it felt very thin to you.
It did. It felt really thin. And when I opened it up, like I was actually having a hard time opening it up because I couldn't grip the front too much. Because there's like, I think with that case, there's like nothing on the front.
Mm-mm.
And I was like just struggling to get it open. And then I was like, I'm gonna break this thing
You get
because
that
I
feeling
can't
because it
like
slip. You feel like you're just gonna like,
yeah.
it's just gonna slip
Yeah,
out of
I'm
your
like,
hand.
it's gonna slip out of my hand, I'm gonna break it. Um, it was just too thin. It was too thin. I did think immediately, though, one thing I noticed was that I think the screen, there's something about the inner screen that looks a lot better than the 4. So that's been super nice.
It's certainly
Um,
much brighter than the 4.
yeah. And the front screen too. I know you have a protector on it. I don't know if it came with the phone, but the
No,
protector on this one I really like too. Like
it
I thought
was
both screens looked
from,
immediately better.
I believe it was a Spigen screen protector that,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a very good screen protector.
Yeah. And I don't know if this is anything or not, but it seems like it's a little bit faster,
Okay. I
like
mean, it should be.
going through like animations and stuff. Um, but yeah, I think I used that case for like a couple of days and then I was like, babe, I can't do this. Like I need to use the other case because it's just not enough for me to grip onto.
Now, do you think that another aspect of that it's too thin feeling might be coming from your desire to have something more substantial to hold on to because you still have some paranoia about A, it's a folding phone, and B, it's
Yeah.
an $1,800 or $1,900 phone. It's like
Yeah.
it's expensive, it's premium, it's fragile. So, or you have
Yep.
this perception that it's fragile because it's a folding phone. So you're like, I want something big. I want to be able to hold on to
It's
it.
that, but it's also that I genuinely struggled to like open and close it. Like I was really having a
Okay.
hard time. And then also didn't I start using it like right around our vacation?
Uh, yeah, I think that's right.
Okay. Well, then I got my
Yeah,
nails done
yeah,
and
yeah.
they're so long. They're too long actually. I know there are not many ladies that watch this, but it's hard to type with long
There's a few.
fingernails. And we have two women that
There's
watch
two.
this.
No, I said there's a
There's
few, but
2.
there's at least three, you
I
know.
was like, "There's 2." But
Know
it's
them by name.
yeah. Um, so I said this before when I was using the Fold 4 that I'm still only opening it like occasionally at work, which I'm at work like all the time. Um, so I only open it when I'm in the break room and I'm usually either you know, I'm usually reading, or if I'm in my car and I'm like eating my lunch or whatever, then I have it in my mount in the car and I'm watching like Netflix.
Mhm.
Um, so those are the few times that I
I,
open it when I'm working.
I
Huh?
got two things I want to kind
Yeah.
of pause on there to kind of I'm going to do this
Okay.
periodically. I'm going to seek
Okay.
things that I think we need to dig into a bit deeper.
Yeah.
One, watching Netflix in your car. Do you notice a difference in the brightness of those screens?
Yeah, yeah. So, I can turn it up really bright, which is good because currently I'm rewatching like the entirety of Stranger Things, and that show is like really dark. Most shows are dark right now. But I can turn the brightness like all the way up. And then usually what I do too is also I'll say the speakers are really good too because I usually disconnect my Bluetooth when I'm in the car eating because I don't want like people outside of the car to like hear me watching like whatever the hell I'm watching. I don't want them to be enjoying the same experience I am. So I'll turn off the Bluetooth and then just blast the volume and it's like loud enough that I can hear it over my air conditioner and then also bright enough that I can see. So that's been really enjoyable. I like that a lot.
Other thing I really quickly wanted to double back to, and we'll continue on
Yeah.
that train of thought. Uh, you talked about only opening it, for very specific things.
Yeah.
Did you notice a significant difference with the cover display being wider than it was on the Fold 4? Does that encourage you to leave it closed more? Did that improve your typing
Yeah.
experience? Just what are your thoughts on that cover
Um,
display?
it it improved the typing experience, and I know that I got totally sidetracked. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
I'm all
No,
over the place. I ramble.
I'm
But
interviewing you. This is just talk, and I'll guide this thing.
I feel bad for the viewers. Okay, so it improved the typing on the front screen for the first couple of days before I got my nails done.
Okay.
After that, it became an absolute nightmare, and it has continued to be a nightmare. I'm like having to I'm using Gboard and I'm using text to type or whatever or
Speech to
voice
text.
what
Speech to text.
speech to text. Yeah, I can't remember what it's called. I use that a lot. Typing on the front right now is terrible. But if my, fingernails weren't super long, then it's better.
Okay.
And it was better for a couple of days. So I like the extra width on the front. I
Okay.
still think like anytime I pick up the new Pixel or like anytime I see one of my customers with their new Pixels at work, I'm just like, I want a big beefy wide screen like that.
So it's a step in the right direction, but you don't feel like it still is
Yeah.
is a detriment to you.
Yeah.
One thing I also want to ask about, the speakers do sound very good. They're very loud. They're very full. Let me ask you this though. Have you noticed, this is one of these things I mentioned when I talked about the Z Fold 6, about half the audience said, yeah, that's weird. That's annoying. Half the audience said, Shane, you are nitpicking way too hard, but it bothers me. On your Fold 6, when you're holding it like such, you have a speaker here and a speaker here. Okay, they're both on, or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe they're both on the left side. Are they both on the left side? That's what it is. They're on the side where
Well,
where the cover display is. Yep.
there's 3 dots there,
But it's
and then
only
there's 1 dot where
the
the
little
charging
the
port is.
little line. The line is your speaker. So it's on
That
the
one?
it's on. Yep. So there's one there and there's one here. It's on the left
So it's on the
side.
yeah, it's on the left side. Okay.
Have you noticed if you're holding the phone like this? Have you noticed that most of your sound is coming then from the left side?
No.
Okay, so this is
But I'm a normal person.
right. So I instantly noticed that like this. I'm like, all my
Yeah.
sound is left channel. So
Yeah, I didn't notice that at all.
on the Pixel, there's a speaker here on the left side, and the other speaker is on the bottom right side. Here's
Yeah,
why that's
so kinda,
here's why that's brilliant. So if you're here, you got left and right channel, right? If I
Yeah.
rotate it, I got left and right channel. If
Yeah.
I close it, it's like a normal phone. I can no
Yeah.
matter how you hold it, you have left and right channel. Samsung for some reason put both of their speakers over here, so when you hold it like this, you only have left channel. You didn't notice it. Most people aren't going to
No.
notice it. That's it. I like that. I think
Yeah.
that's interesting how, and that perfectly illustrates what we're getting at here. The different things that different people are going to notice. That in a million years, you would have never noticed
Yeah.
it. But to me, 30 seconds into holding that phone, I was
Yeah.
like, all the sound comes out of the left side. That bothered me. So
2 things factor into that is number 1, I'm normal. Number 2, I have bad hearing. So I'm not, I don't know, I'm not gonna notice.
just not going to notice it.
One thing I will mention, because I'm thinking about it right now, I'm never, ever, ever using this pen. I never use it, and I never will use it.
Talk about why
Why?
do you use that case with the pin in it?
Because I need something to grip onto, because in the Aramid fiber case, it was too thin, and it was, like, slipping out of my hands a lot. Like, I compulsively wash my hands. I also use lotion on my hands a lot, and that makes them, like, really it's hard to grip onto stuff. So, I was really struggling to hold it, and I was like, "I just don't like this." Like, it wasn't good for me. So, I was like, "I need to use a different case." And, obviously, I wanted to use the pink case because it's cute, and it goes with the pink phone. Um, and that's what we had. On the 4, the one I was using first was the one with the pin, and I really liked it because there was, like, a bigger bump, and I can, like, grip onto that. Like, that's typically how I hold the phone, is I just grip it. Um, and then I switched over to the one with the kickstand on it because, like, I would go upstairs and, like, work out on the treadmill, and I would have my phone open like this, and I'd turn it sideways to have the kickstand, and I'd have, like, either a video going, like, I'd be watching TV, like Netflix or whatever, or I'd have my, Kindle app going, and it would do the assisted reader, so I could, like, watch it as I'm listening to it and on the treadmill, and then that was, like, awesome.
So let's kind of try and broadly kind of wrap this up for the most part. Do you like how big of a difference do you really see between the okay, one thing we didn't, and kind of add this in, I guess, as you're
Yeah.
talking about this. How big of a difference is there broadly between the Fold 4 and the Fold 6? Do you intuit a two generation jump there from your perspective? And also talk a little bit about what limited experience you don't take as many pictures as I do. But with that camera, did you see a difference there? How do you feel about that camera in general?
I really enjoyed it when we were using it to try and capture the aurora borealis stuff that we had going on over here the other day. So, like, the night photography, that was really nice. I do like using the camera with the giant viewfinder. And then you finally taught me how to use this as the, like, what do you call it? Like the preview, the camera preview
Oh,
when
were
I'm
you
using.
taking a selfie
Yeah.
using your cover display, yeah.
Yeah, so I really liked that. Um, but I still just don't love the camera. Like, I still cannot get, like, a good quick photo the way that I can with a Pixel phone. So, like, I I tried to take a picture of either Rutherford or Jet the other day on the couch, and they were wiggling. I think it was Jet. She was wiggling, and I just could not get a good photo. Like, it was a blurry. Like, half the
Yeah.
photos I take are blurry, and I'm just like, I'm just not gonna bother taking photos on this phone. Like, I just don't. I just don't bother with it.
Yeah.
So like, it's okay. I'm not super happy with it, but I'm also like not. I'm not like really into that as much anymore. Um, I don't have much to say about the camera. But to go back to the original question, which is, do I feel like this is a couple generations ahead of the last one? I would say, as far as the appearance and the quality, yes, I can tell that it's a couple generations ahead, especially with the fact that it's a little bit wider than the last one I was using. Do I prefer it over the last one? I'm gonna say I don't really think so because it's too premium for me to comfortably use, just given the way that I hold things and like how I am with phones. Uh, and I do like it, and I like it a lot more in the case, but like I would never use it outside of the case, even though
Mhm.
it's gorgeous. And like there's a huge part of me that would love to use a phone and just have it be a phone and not wear a case on it.
Yeah.
But I just can't. Um, so like there's a part of me that's like, if I continue using a foldable, like my plan already is I'm gonna give this phone back to you. I'm not gonna keep using it. I'm either gonna go back to the Fold 4 or I'm gonna go back to the Pixel 7 Pro,
The
whatever the heck
8
I was using.
8 Pro was the
Or
last
the
one you were
8
using.
Pro.
So
The 8 Pro, my bad.
your primary reason for wanting to go back to the Fold 4 is simply just that you're like, it's 2 years older. We've kind of already got our value out of it. If
Yeah.
I accidentally drop this thing and it breaks, it's not as big of a deal. It's not
Yeah.
as new. So it's not because
Yeah.
it's not that you prefer the Fold 4. It's
I
that
mean,
you
there's a part of me that does because it's easier for me to use because it's I don't know if it's like maybe it's already worn in a little bit.
it's
It's
probably
just
easier to open.
yeah, like just dexterity wise, it's easier for me to open it. And in the case that it's gonna be in, it's easier for me to use it.
Okay.
This one is just it's too hard for me to use it, at least with, these and
Very
so
interesting. We have to think.
yeah.
So this is something that I'm pondering.
Yeah.
There is the Pixel Fold, the original Pixel Fold, and there is part of me that thinks you might really like it. However,
I'm
I have
scared.
nervousness. I think you do too. I had a
Yeah.
Pixel Fold that lasted me about a year, and I got a crack on the screen in a really weird way. It got replaced. Google replaced it with a refurbished model, and the refurbished model broke like 3 months later, cracked right down the middle. Neither
Mhm.
one of these phones were like abused or dropped. Like they were both taken care of really well.
No, you take care of your phone, and that's the thing that I so wish I could just, like, talk to these people and be like, "Do you understand, like, you have never I don't think I've ever seen you drop a phone, and we've been
I
together for 11
I
years."
very rarely. I think the last time I quote unquote dropped a phone was I tossed a phone onto the bed and
Yeah.
it hit just right so that it like cartwheeled
Mhm.
and it landed on the floor. Now our bed is a memory foam, so there's not a box spring, so it sits really
It's
low to
like
the
a
ground.
futon
So
style thing.
from top of bed to like floor is maybe that far. Like it's really low to
Yeah.
the ground. So it
Yeah.
was like a foot and a half, and it was fine. Like there was not a mark on it. But that was like the
I
only time I've in recent memory that I can say that I dropped a phone. But
and I
still,
dropped this one today behind the bed.
and it
'Cause
held up.
sometimes, like
It's fine.
yeah, cause like, I'll be in the bed and I'll shove it under my pillow, and I guess, like, I was just moving around and it
And
just,
it's
like,
yeah,
slid
we're laying in
between
bed
the
and
bed,
you hear it hit the wall, then you hear it hit
clunk,
the edge of the
clunk.
bed, then you hear it hit the floor. Doop,
And
doop,
I'm
doop.
like
We're both just like, dang. But it was fine. It's okay. So I would like to see how you feel about the Pixel Fold.
I
But
would too, I'm just so nervous, though, like,
and
I don't know, I'm nervous.
all that's on it is a D brand leather skin, and I don't want to peel
Yeah,
it off and put a case on it. So you would be stuck with that D brand
yeah.
caseless experience for a couple days. But
This
so
is this is why Google has to make a more durable version. Someone has to make a durable version of a folding phone. Like they need to make one that's like less premium materials, because like that's what I
Plastic.
like. Like the Pixel 5, if anyone remembers that, had like the hard, almost like recycled looking plastic back.
It was actually metal with a coating on it, but yes.
Yeah, I loved that. And I was like, someone needs to make this in like a folding phone. That's what I would like. Or if like maybe they would put like the original Fold on sale or something, or if I could buy one that was like that would be cool.
Yeah.
But I don't want to use one that I could potentially break, because there's no worse feeling than breaking a phone. Oh, we didn't answer one question.
What's
By
that?
the way, I forgot. So I looked through the comments of the last episode that we did, and a lot of people were like saying, "Do you think that Jessie would spend, was
Mm.
it like $1,800 on this phone if she had to purchase another phone? Would she spend that much on this phone?"
Mhm.
Absolutely not. I would not. If that helps anybody, I would not spend money on this phone. I would do exactly what I'm doing, which is using whatever hand-me-down I can get from Shane. Um, or if, like, let's say I was not allowed or couldn't use any of the phones in this house and I had to go buy a phone, I would probably buy, what is it, the 8A, the
Yeah,
Pixel
you would go
8A.
buy a Pixel A series and be
Yeah,
and you would be perfectly
yeah,
happy. You would be
and I would
fine.
be totally fine,
You'd be totally fine.
because I'm a typical phone user. I don't do anything special with my phone, and if I needed anything bigger to read on, I've got my little books tablet, and it's like
Mhm.
the same size, if not smaller than this right here.
It's very
So,
similar size, yeah. Oh, one thing
yeah.
I wanted to ask too before we do wrap this up, how have you felt about the battery life?
Mm, the battery life has been amazing. I'm really impressed with the battery life, because I will charge it overnight, and then I'll use it throughout the morning until, like, let's say I'm doing like a closing shift. I'll use it until about, anywhere from like 2 or 3 o'clock. And then I go into work and I'll charge it in my car on the way to work, as
Mhm.
I'm either listening to an audiobook or I'm letting a YouTube video play. So it's charging and it's playing media. And then by the time I get to work, which is usually like a 20 to 30-minute drive, it's like already, like, it'll go from like, let's say 60% to like 80 or 90% by the time I get to work. And then I'll work like either an 8-hour shift or whatever. And by the time I'm going home, it's usually at like 80 or 70%, which for me, like, that's
That's
really good.
outstanding.
Like, yeah. And then sometimes I'll just use the phone really aggressively. Like, I'll be reading like all day. Like, I've done this, I think one of the last days on our vacation, I didn't do like anything. Like, I just read all day because it was so gross outside.
Yeah.
And like, by the time we went to bed, it was at like 30%. That's the lowest I ever let it get it. And I'm
Yeah.
like, it would be fine. I could keep using it and it would
Yeah.
be fine.
Very good.
So,
Yeah. Battery life was very impressive for
yeah,
me as
it's
well.
outstanding. So,
Very cool. Well, guys, I think that's pretty much everything. This ended up still being a fairly long video, so fairly detailed. Hopefully, it is useful hearing this normal person perspective. Fold 4 to Fold 6. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here once again, Jessie, as a guest on the show.
anytime.
Or on the channel. It's not really a show anymore. It's just a video. So thanks for being a
Yeah.
guest on the video. So guys, like I said, hopefully that was an enjoyable little conversation. Let me know what you think about all this stuff in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.